Somewhere in Rome, a man is told the emperor is dead. Within hours, he puts on the purple robe. He calls himself the new ruler of half the Roman Empire. There's just one problem. The emperor isn't dead. And when Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man alive, the philosopher king who wrote that you should never let anger control you, finds out who betrayed him, it isn't a stranger. It's the man he trusted more than anyone else in the world. Stay with me, because what this emperor did next isn't just history. It's a blueprint for surviving the worst betrayal of your life. The year is 175 AD. Marcus Aurelius isn't just an emperor. He's a Stoic philosopher who believes true power isn't in your temper, it's in your self-control. He rules the largest empire on earth, yet he writes private journal entries, reminding himself to stay humble. Years earlier, he made a decision that would almost cost him everything. He handed control of the entire eastern half of the Roman Empire to one general, Avidius Cassius. Cassius was brilliant, disciplined, ruthless in battle. He crushed rebellions. He won wars Rome couldn't afford to lose. Marcus rewarded him with more power than almost any general in Roman history had ever held. For years, it looked like loyalty. But power has a strange habit. Give a man enough of it, and eventually, you find out who he really is. When Marcus fell seriously ill, a false rumor swept through the empire. The emperor is dead. Cassius didn't wait. He didn't mourn. He didn't hesitate for even a single day. He declared himself emperor. Not out of grief, not out of duty, out of pure opportunity. Now imagine receiving that news. Not an enemy crossing your border. A man you personally elevated. A man you trusted with half your empire, turning against you the moment he thought you were weak. That's the kind of wound a sword can't cause. A stranger's blade cuts the body. A friend's betrayal cuts something deeper. Here's where most people expect the story to turn into a bloody revenge tale. It doesn't. Marcus didn't fly into a rage. He didn't order a massacre. He didn't let hatred make his decisions for him. In his own private writings, the book we now call Meditations, he had already written the principle that would guide him through this exact moment. You don't control what happens to you. You only control how you respond to it. And that response is where your real power lives. So instead of vengeance, Marcus prepared his legions calmly. And then he did something almost nobody in his position would do. He publicly offered Cassius a full pardon if he simply surrendered. Think about that. The man who stole half his empire, and Marcus was offering him mercy. That wasn't weakness. That was the most powerful move in the entire story. This is the first lesson, and it's just as true today as it was 2,000 years ago. When someone betrays you, you get two options. Option 1. Let the rage take over. Cut off everyone. Trust no one. Let one betrayal poison every relationship you have left. Option 2. Feel the pain, fully, honestly, but refuse to let it write your next decision. Marcus chose option 2. Not because he didn't feel the betrayal, he felt it deeply. But he refused to let Cassius control his character the way Cassius had once controlled his trust. Cassius's rebellion didn't even last 3 months. His own officers turned on him, hoping Marcus would reward them for it, and Cassius was killed by his own men. When his severed head was brought to Marcus as a trophy, expecting celebration, Marcus refused to look at it with satisfaction. He ordered it buried with respect. He refused to punish the men who had supported Cassius's rebellion. And he burned Cassius's private letters unread, so he'd never have to discover just how deep the plotting had gone. That's Stoic lesson number 2. Revenge never gives you peace. Mercy is the only thing that actually lets you move forward. Here's the uncomfortable question. Were there warning signs? Historians say yes. Cassius was always ambitious, more ambitious than loyal. He often mocked Marcus's philosophical, gentle style of leadership behind his back, believing a real emperor should rule through fear, not virtue. Marcus saw glimpses of this, and he chose to overlook it, because he was a man who always looked for the good in people first. That's the third lesson hiding in this story. Trusting people isn't weakness, but refusing to see clear warning signs is dangerous. Someone who consistently mocks your character, your values, or your kindness was never actually on your side. This isn't just a 2,000-year-old history lesson. It's a mirror. Almost everyone eventually meets their own version of Cassius. A friend, a partner, a business partner, someone close who takes advantage of the trust you gave them the moment they think you're vulnerable. And when that happens, you face the exact same fork in the road Marcus faced. Break or grow. Marcus didn't just survive the betrayal. He came out of it with a stronger, more respected reign, because he refused to let his circumstances become bigger than his character. In his own words, the best revenge is to not be like that. So next time someone betrays you, first, let yourself feel it. Suppressing pain doesn't make you strong. It just delays the damage. Second, control your response. Don't let anger make the decision. Let your character make it. Third, don't live in the past. Cassius is remembered today as a cautionary footnote. Marcus Aurelius is remembered as one of history's greatest philosophers and leaders, because he refused to let one betrayal define the rest of his story. History doesn't remember the people who got betrayed. It remembers the ones who didn't let it poison who they became. If this story hit you somewhere real, drop a comment below. Still standing for everyone who's been betrayed but refused to break. And if you want more stories from the ancient world that actually apply to your life today, subscribe and turn on notifications. Because the next story might be the lesson you didn't know you needed.